Hello and welcome back to another watch pile video. Number 7, as I try to get my watch pile down again. This has been a tough few weeks because I've added too many films again. Last time, as I finished off, I was at 118 titles to watch. Of course, did I stop buying? Did I stop adding to the collection and just let myself work my way through the piles? Nope. Nope, I did not. So let's dive into the usual format here. We'll go through the titles that I picked up. Then we'll have a little look at the ones I managed to watch this month and see if I managed to lower that from 118 down or if it increased, because it feels like a slow marathon to try and get this thing down. Let's dive into the titles that I picked up. Some big meaty ones to start with. Martin, the 4K release from Second Sight Films, which was an outstanding release, and as if that wasn't enough, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 4K releases from Second Sight Films, which I utterly adored both of them. These editions are always something that I really look forward to picking up, and they are a hell of a lot of work to get through a lot of the things that are in there. Creating the videos for them are something that I really enjoy. A little bit more in depth, looking at the package, looking at the extras, looking at the disc. They take a lot of work, and you know what? When it comes to a package like that, I really like spending the time going through it. One that I wasn't initially going to pick up, Detox. I jumped on and surprisingly loved it. Not the greatest movie. Definitely falls into the rip-off of Seven thematics, but was still interesting. Interesting enough for me to watch it a couple of times, actually. I picked up some video vengeance or visual vengeance stuff. First up was Moonchild, which I reviewed already on the channel. The next one that I've got to watch is Blood of the Chupacabras, which also comes with Return of the Chupacabras, I believe. Revenge of the Chupacabras. So I've got them coming soon at some point. Don't know what to expect with the short and video stuff. Could be good, maybe not. The latest Radiance title I got was Welcome to the Dollhouse. The only one I've not picked up as yet is Fill 'em Up with Super, and I'm unsure about that one. So if you've seen it, if you have it, if you can recommend it, let me know in the comment box below. After seeing I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, I jumped onto Croupier, the Arrow 4K. It was down on Amazon to £12. I picked it up because I loved I'll Sleep When I'm Dead so much. I wanted to see the director and star back again in Croupier. Sometimes I've got great friends, and sometimes they just send me something every now and again. And one that came in, which was a real surprise treat, and one that just I was over the moon to get, was the 4K of Friday the 13th. I love the film. I've got the Scream box set of the full Friday the 13th collection. I love Friday the 13th. It's great. Is it anything outstanding? No. It's a comfort movie, one that I utterly adore. I kind of like that Scream are doing these 4K releases of great horror classics. I've got the Halloweens that I wanted. I've got Friday the 13th. I'm hoping they're going to do Nightmare on Elm Street at some point, and I've still to get the Child's Play ones, which I kind of want as well soon. So another one I picked up from 88 Films was Gorgeous, which again, expectations. I don't know what I was really thinking I was going to get with this one. It's a kind of fairy tale romance. I can't say that I was bowled over by it. The tone, just going into it, was something that I couldn't really attune to. But there are these two fight sequences within the film that are phenomenal, absolutely jaw-droppingly awesome, and I love those sequences. The film was just a mismatch of problems with tone, overly silly, overly saccharine, not great, some quirky performances, but I loved those two fight sequences, which were just amazing. Next up in the Italian collection, The Whip in the Body, directed by Mario Bava. I love this. There is some big Bava-isms in it. The changing colour, the creeping, haunting images coming towards the camera. Really fun, really interesting. I'm so glad to have seen this on like a really good transfer. Some audio issues I kind of heard as well, some like hissing throughout certain segments within the disc, but it is what it is. But I thought it was really fun, very atmospheric, and I had a great time with The Whip in the Body. Then I got the Imprint package, which Imprint were kind enough to send through for review purposes. I'll just quickly run through these because most of the reviews are done or might even be up on the channel. Return to Paradise. I liked this more than I expected. Vince Vaughn is actually a pretty good actor given the right material. And looking at his say 90s output, that's when he was kind of at his peak before he fell into a kind of routine almost. But he did some really interesting stuff there, and obviously just written off as a comedic actor a lot of the time. I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, which I spoke about, which was my favourite of the Imprint releases this month. I didn't expect to love this as much as I did. Absolutely adored it. Like I said, I watched this and then instantly bought Croupier, which I don't remember much about. Jacob's Ladder, which was a favourite of mine, which I thought was going to be my favourite Imprint release of the month, turned out to not be that. Another surprise from Imprint, Little Buddha. Surprising because I had zero interest in it. I remember seeing it. Kind of two stories. We got monks looking for the reincarnation of the Lama Doji, and they kind of stumble across these three kids. And while they're kind of teaching them their religion, they tell them this kind of tale, a fairy tale about a person, and they jump into this fantasy world, and it's bright and colourful and just so vibrant and interesting, and all that segment was just wonderful to see. Georgia is one of those kind of movies that's driven by the actor. She's main star, producer, kind of got this film made. Wasn't really for me either. A bit of a slog to get through. I didn't like the main character at all. It's definitely there for like the performance. The performance is great. There's a lot to do in it, but the story just didn't grab me at all. And the last from Imprint was The House of the Spirits, which had a phenomenal cast, absolutely phenomenal, based on a book, and you can kind of tell that it's trying to rush through as much of the book as it can, hitting all the main points. But by doing that, we don't spend any real time with the characters, get to know them, emphasize with them, understand their struggles, other than just the surface material. And it was fine, good production, because they had great cast, just missing the intricacies that would have made it stand out more. And then finally, we have the Vinegar Syndrome package. So I had the Carlos Enrique Taboada set, which has Poison for the Fairies, Darker Than Night, and Rapine. I'd say Poison for the Fairies was probably my favourite, like a kind of grim fairy tale involving two kids, where a lot of the adults are obscured, where you never really get to see them. It focuses on the kids and their twisted relationship. Assassination of the Tsar, Malcolm McDowell, again, giving a great performance as a mental patient who believes that he has been reincarnated and has killed two Tsars in his time. And as he talks to a psychiatrist, the psychiatrist starts to believe that he is a reincarnation of one of the Tsars. Really fun, kind of twisted. Not one I would go back to often, but I kind of liked it. From Fun City Editions was Breathless. Now, I saw this as a kind of prototype of true romance. Lots of similarities there. Richard Gere is charming and captivating as this toxic person who just causes so much havoc. Yeah, definitely worth checking out. One of the 4Ks from Vinegar Syndrome was Primal Rage. So 80s, so amazing, so fantastic. Good special effects. Didn't go as grand or as big as I wanted, but it was really fun. Sometimes you just want a fun kind of movie that goes from seemingly 80s sitcom, rom-com type of thing into a almost zombie slasher later on. I kind of appreciate that change in tonality. Freeway 2 wasn't as great as the original one was. I didn't expect it to be there. Meanders for a lot of the time, but then picked up in the final third, which was really great. And then Dog Tags from VSA, which was really good. Vietnamese war. American soldiers stumble across a whole load of gold, and it slowly tears them apart as they become twisted on the thought of getting all this money. And finally, How to Build a Time Machine. A great film with a kind of quirky plot line that leads us into the obsession of these two men and what drives them. And I had a great deal of fun with that one. So there we have it. The titles I picked up. 26 films in total picked up. And we are going to jump in to my Letterboxd and we will go through what I watched. So the last time I was here, I got up to In the Line of Duty, which I followed on with Jesse Stone, Innocence Lost. Loved that series of films. In fact, I kind of rushed through the end of it there. I was having a great time with it. All these reviews are on the membership program. So if you're a member of the channel, you'll be able to get access to these. Some of them are up, some of them have still to come, but that's where they're being posted. Same with Erotic Nightmare. That was part of the Made in Hong Kong set from Vinegar Syndrome. It wasn't a great set. Some titles I liked more than others. There was one I actively didn't like. I probably wouldn't go back to. The other two I kind of somewhat liked. Again, that's up in the membership program. Nil by Mouth was a BFI disc that was sent through to me. You see that there's no star rating here because, honestly, I just don't know how to rate it. It was a movie that got under my skin. Amazing performances. It's a absolute fantastic disc. Great extras. There's a review coming soon for it. But man, I just didn't know what to give it. I trudged into the cinema to see 65. It was 90 minutes. I almost forgot everything about it. I probably wouldn't recommend it. Detox, which I spoke about, I loved. Let's Scare Jessica to Death, which I posted a review on the channel. I love that horror movie. It's so fantastic. It's so almost never talked about, which is a real shame. It's one that you feel should have got its cult footing by now, but hasn't quite got there. The Demon's Baby, which is, we are Thursday, the 13th today, so that is today's video on the membership program. It's the last one I'm posting from the Made in Hong Kong set. I kind of like that one a lot. Really weird effects in the final half, which is great. Detox, I watched again because I just enjoyed that one. Moonchild was the visual vengeance shot and video film. Great story. Some ropey acting. It's shot in video, so it's never fully great. They Live by Night was the Criterion disc that I just reviewed. That is coming back out again as Thieves Like Us, or like a remake on Radiance, which I'm really looking forward to checking out now. Stir of Echoes was a fun throwback to the 1999. A great year of film. I kind of like Stir of Echoes. It's just a solid supernatural thriller. Martin, which was released on the Second Sight disc, which was phenomenal. 5 stars, loved it. Freeway 2, Confessions of a Trick Baby, which was got an extra half-star boost for that final third, where it really kind of jumped up to what I wanted it to be. Like I said, How to Build a Time Machine, which was great. Primal Rage, which, although it's only got 3 stars, I loved a lot more than that. Thinking back to it now, it's more than that. I had a lot of fun with that one, and I probably rate it higher next time I watch it because it just, yeah, great. Dog Tags, which again I spoke about there, 3.5, great. More Jesse Stone. Welcome to the Dollhouse, which was fantastic, very angsty, problematic, school childhood. Just all the kind of things that are immensely entertaining in a kind of bleak and dark manner. Jesse Stone, Lost in Paradise, which I think was the last of that. Really disappointing to get to the end of this series. I could have done with another 9 movies. I was having so much fun watching that. It had been a while since I watched a Shaw Brothers film. I threw on Clan of the White Lotus, and it was incredibly fun, right down to the acupuncture fight at the end, which was something different and wild I hadn't seen before. Another trip to the cinema to see John Wick Chapter 4, which I liked, but I had major issues with it. Minor issues. Things that I just couldn't get over. I couldn't understand. There's a sequence within a nightclub where people are fighting, people are partying, people are getting shot, thrown off balconies. There's a large man doing incredible martial arts, and nobody skips a beat. They just continue their partying, drinking, dancing ways, which I just didn't understand. There's a sequence near the end at the Arc de Triomphe, which people are having gunfights and fistfights on the middle of the road, this big roundabout, and cars, pedestrians are slamming into people and they just drive away. Not a care given. Just the general public watching a mass gunfight and knocking people over and driving away. Again, couldn't go over that. And then there's a fight sequence on stairs where our hero works all the way up this massive flight of stairs to the top, only to be knocked all the way back down to the bottom. Other than that, pretty fun. A little bit overlong. Assassin of the Tsar, which I spoke about. I Sleep When I'm Dead, which I just utterly loved that film. It was terrific. Breathless, again, which I kind of went through. I enjoyed Return to Paradise, Little Buddha, House of Spirits, all the Imprint titles. I went and seen Super Mario Brothers at the cinema. Took the kids to see it. They loved it. I thought it was fine. Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Amongst Thieves. Probably my favourite film at the cinema this year. It's just fun and entertaining. Didn't take itself too seriously. It was bright, colourful, engaging. I had a great time with that, and I'm looking forward to probably going back and seeing that again. My least favourite of the Imprint titles was Georgia, 2 stars. Jacob's Ladder, a 5-star movie, if ever there was one. Then there was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I watched. Loved it, and then started devouring the documentaries, which there were 3 over 70-minute documentaries. Just terrific. So much information. Wonderful package. Then I went on to the Taboda set from Vinegar Syndrome. So Poison for the Fairies, which was the best. Blacker Than Night and Rapine, which were good. So Poison for the Fairies, which I spoke about. The 2 girls, kind of one pretends to be a witch. Interesting. Blacker Than Night was one where a model inherits a mansion, but her only stipulation is that she has to look after the cat, and she takes her model friends to live in there with her, share with some of the bills, and things just get a little bit spooky, a little bit crazy in that one. Rapine was interesting, as it was a bit like a simple plan where 2 woodcutters stumble across a fallen plane and start to loot it for all the money that they can get. And then that slowly eats away at their humanity as they become vicious and angry with each other, and it takes some dark, thrilling turns. Gorgeous, the Jackie Chan one, which I said was a bit tonally not my cup of tea, but the 2 fights were outstanding. And then finally, I watched Nosferatu in Venice. I mean, great cast. Werner Herzog directing, Klaus Kinski starring again, and some other great, Donald Pleasance, more people as well, which is fantastic. But man, it was dull as dishwater, horrible, just tedium. But that disc comes with an absolutely fantastic documentary that makes it worth picking up about Klaus Kinski. But other than that, that's kind of everything that I've tackled this month. So I added 26 movies to the collection. I watched 32 movies. So I took 6 off. So I'm down to 112. I'm a little bit worried because a friend of mine is sending me a package from Canada, which is usually full of awesomeness, and there'll be an unboxing video for that coming soon. I have Creeping Horror from Eureka coming, and The Bullet Train coming as well, which should be arriving soon. I have the next 2 AGVA titles coming, which I'll need to check out as well. Is there anything else I have coming up? I have a screener disc of Lover's Lane to check out. I have the 3 Musketeers and the 4 Musketeers to check out as well. So there is a bunch of titles coming that I need to see, which is going to add to this. So I'm not confident that next month I'll be down, although I will try my best. I've got some time off coming up. Got my birthday at the end of this month, which is probably going to add a couple more movies into this one as well. So we'll see how the next watch pile goes. But there we go. I've managed to take some titles off it, which makes me happy. There is more content up here if you want to see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to the Patreon, the membership program, and manvfilm.com, where you can support me. That'd be greatly appreciated. And I will see you for the watch pile 8, maybe the start of May, and we'll see how I've got on it then. Maybe do it earlier if I can get that numbers down a little bit more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.